Hello, everyone, and welcome to this amazing, beautiful live interview with the one and only Carole Goodman. I wish that you knew how amazing this woman is. I mean, you're going to get to know how amazing this woman is and the beautiful message she has for us all, especially us mums. She captured my heart, and I know she's going to capture yours. But we are here today to celebrate her book, Where Is My Mummy? As you can see, I've got some little notes in it. And being there when they need you most. And I believe, as a mum of 6 myself, I believe this conversation is just so important about how we are showing up and being there for our kids at the moment. So I just want to read for you the blurb at the back so you can capture the essence of this book. Congratulations, you are a mum. You have been given the greatest gift in the world. When those beautiful baby eyes look back with unconditional love, trust, and belief in you, there is no greater feeling. And now it is your joy, your passion, and yes, even your responsibility to give your little one every opportunity to become the best version of themselves, to develop them into leaders of tomorrow, to help them grow with kindness, integrity, resilience, and compassion. But how do you do that? There's no one-size-fits-all manual for parenting, is there? In Carole Goodman's book, Where Is My Mummy?, she bravely explores a new perspective on parenthood through gratitude, forgiveness, awareness of the subconscious mind, as well as other fascinating learnings. Carole shares ways in which you can support your little one to live their best possible life, and it may even change your life too. I love it. I'm smiling. Let's welcome Carole to the stage. Welcome, Carole.
Thank you, Karen. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm here today with you beautiful people.
Let's talk about when we came together and discussed this book coming to be, as it was a seedling of an idea, one that you ran with, probably against convention but your passion, it was your passion for sharing this message with the world that just absolutely captivated me. So, Carole, can you share about that and why you're so passionate about this?
Yes, I'm a lady of 75 now, and I've got 3 children. I've got 7 beautiful grandchildren, and it wasn't until about 5 years ago that I sat in a conference one time, and people were being congratulated for all their achievements and everything, and I looked around the hall and I thought, do we really know who we are? Do we really know who we are? And I thought there's something missing here. There's something I don't really understand. In all my years, and I brought up my kids and all that, but there was something I knew that was missing. So I left that conference and I went out to seek it. I was going to seek it, I was going to find it, and I was determined to do that. And in doing that, I discovered what I didn't know was I didn't know who I was. I had no idea who I was. I thought I did. I'd had all these years on planet Earth, and I really thought I knew who I was, but I had no blinky idea. So I came across the material, and it really flabbergasted me because I had never heard of all this before. And it was talking about our beautiful, powerful mind. And I'd never heard that before. I mean, I suppose I heard of the mind, but the mind was always associated with the brain. And that's not right. The brain is a servant of the mind. We all have a beautiful mind. And then I remember actually it came to me, a thought that I'd had years ago. I was watching something on TV. And I remember turning to my husband and saying, we are going to pay for this in the years to come. And I have no idea what it was, but it was something about teenagers and children. And that has come to us now. And my heart and the pain in my heart is for our beautiful teenagers. But that's way, way, way back before that. And that is what the book is about.
Yes. Yes, we have to have conversations around this as much as people may not want to, and as much as our our environment that our kids are growing up in and how things are done now is different. But there is a way that we can find a beautiful balance, you know? Like I remember whenever we sat together and I was like, Carole, I am an ambitious mum of 6. I like all my accolades, but I also love being a mum. But why choose me as your publisher, you know? And then in reading your book, we felt so connected because we both have read and we both have learned the principles. You have worked with Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, and in his programs, and I've just been certified by the Napoleon Hill Institute, and it's all about the power of our mind. And yes, our brain is a servant of that, and it's just so beautiful how we can shift the trajectory through our own thoughts that benefits all around us, and that means our children as well. We can shift our environment, we can shift something small that will have a big impact in our lives and those people around us. But we have to have the courage to make the shift first. And quite often that's going against convention, isn't it, Carole?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we don't talk this language and we've never been brought up with this language. And honestly, our parents, our grandparents, our environment in the past that we've been surrounded with, they can't be blamed because they didn't know either, any more than I didn't know until I was 70. And then I started to seek it and find it. And I was just amazed. Our environment is so important for our babies, even for our babies, because after the age of 5, they have no reasoning factor going on. And everything we say, we do, everything goes into the precious subconscious mind, and it will stay there for the rest of their life. Yeah. And it will be good or bad or right or wrong, a lie or truth, it doesn't really matter. Our subconscious mind, or our baby's subconscious, and our subconscious mind too, but our baby's subconscious mind, our little children's subconscious mind will direct their life forever. And it's like our sat nav. We have a sat nav in our mind, and we set that sat nav, and that's the way that we follow our life. It's just incredible. And honestly, if we what we feed into our babies will stay with them, and it's just incredible. Our subconscious mind is what rules our life, and what we're allowed to go into that is so important.
Yeah, and it is from the 0 to 5 age group that a lot of paradigms are set in a child's life, but it's also beyond that as well. And you touched on a few things there that I really want to revisit, and that is where we really influence our children. They look up to us. They see us as the heroes in their life, and they watch everything we do. They learn from our actions more than our words, I believe. And then they get their belief system from that, and it's the belief system that can really, make or break them as they find themselves, and when they start to explore life as adults or young adults or whatever. And I believe that's when they have a lot of unraveling and undoing, and sometimes face challenges because they don't feel aligned with themselves. If the things that have been gifted to them through us, if they haven't been allowed to be themselves growing up and to find, and as a parent, it's harder to parent children and allowing them to be their individual selves, grow into themselves and find what makes their heart sing, and nurturing that to fruition. Can you speak to that, Carole?
I think self-image is really what we need to build into our little ones, that will carry them through all those, all the buffeting they will have as they enter their teenage years, or even before that age now. But it's that self-love, that self-image, that self-belief in them, so that they come to know who they are. And it's what we tell them. It's what we tell them, who they are, what they are, that they get that self-belief from. Whether they're told they're beautiful, they're able, they're smart, they're they're wholesome in every way. We build that into them when they're in their formative years, and otherwise we can pull them down, and they'll also believe that too as they grow up. It's so important that they have that foundation within them as they come into these hard, more difficult years, because they're bombarded by so much, and we all know now about the media and the iPhones and technology and all that, which I think is wonderful. But we have to be very careful what that is feeding into the minds of our young people. And but if they have been built, have a beautiful self-image and self-love, and know who they are, they will have a better ability to make their own decisions when the time comes.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that's coming up there is, well, for me that I'm really thinking of is children don't know what it's like to fail anymore, and they think that failing is a bad thing, and it's actually not. Whenever you learn these teachings, you realize that adversities come to help us grow into the next version of ourselves and to help us keep evolving. And I don't think that, I believe that, there's so much of a winning mentality, and winning's wonderful. Like I love to win, but I know that it's a progressional thing. I have to grow into the version of myself that winning is the next step. And can you speak to that for our young ones, and how we encourage that in them, that it's okay to fail, but it's, and allow them to feel that pain without trying to fix it for them, allow them to grow into that instead of just taking away that growth. For me, it reminds me of a butterfly. The butterfly has to do that squeezing out through that cocoon, and it's painful for them and everything, but if they don't do it, they don't survive. They're not able to spread their wings and fly. And that's what I kind of liken it to.
Yes, it's very interesting, Karen, you should mention that, because it's only recently that I was told that if you interfere in that stage of a butterfly whilst it's in the cocoon, and you try to help them through that, you will kill the butterfly inside. So we do need to allow our young people to make decisions for themselves. We absolutely need to. We need to be there to steer them, guide them, absolutely. But unless they are allowed to make decisions for themselves in their early days, they're never going to know how to make them in their teenage years. And that's where the problems come in. So we steer them, we're there for them, our arms are there if they fall, but they've got to be allowed to fall. Yes, they've got to be allowed to take those steps when they're young. It's when they're young. It's when you're in the kindergarten. It's when you're in the daycare centres. It's all of that. We must allow them to make decisions for themselves, to grow that understanding and that will within themselves. I love to talk about our higher faculties. I just absolutely love them. The imagination and the will and the memory and the reasoning and the perception and the your intuitiveness. I just love them, and most people don't even know we have them. But we need to encourage them in our young ones, to allow them to use their imagination, to encourage them, and their will. It's a privilege to be a parent. It's a privilege to be a mum, but we are the ones, the only ones, who can steer our young people to have that wisdom and that understanding for when they reach their teenage years, to have the ability to say no to what they don't want to do, and not just follow the sheep, because the sheep are just following the followers who don't know what they're following either. It's tragic. It's really tragic. And so, yeah. Very important.
Oh, so I really want to touch on this that you just spoke there too, encouraging the kids to be imaginative, visionary, like envisioning things created in our future. But I think to that as well, Carole, and you and I have both done this, is that going and as an adult and re-exploring that for ourselves, so that we can be the leaders for the next generation, so that they don't lose it as they grow through, and that it becomes part of every stage of life, not just being a child where we kind of lose it because life gets serious and life happens, and life's always going to happen. But when you have these higher faculties that you can go, use to support your growth as a child and as an adult. And I invite adults, mothers and fathers, to go and rediscover that for themselves, because it's there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just there waiting for you to rediscover it. And when you do, life just, no matter what's going on around you, life just seems elevated. And that will really benefit everyone around, including your children.
Yes, absolutely. And these higher faculties are born within us. They're in us when we're conceived. They really are. They're there, and they're there for we educators, which we women are for our children. We're the first educators. An educator is actually comes from a word of duco, which means to draw out, to bring forth. And if we don't know we have these higher faculties, how on earth can we draw them out of our children? How can we teach them to use them? And they need to be used too. I mean, that you can never kill them off, but they can remain dormant till the day you die. And we can't do that to our children. We can't continue to do this to our children. This information needs to be out there, so that not just the parents, but the educators, the everybody who has any contact with our little ones need to know this information, so that our children, our babies, have the opportunity to grow. And because we never stop growing. We think like the baby's born and the baby grows. It multiplies, and we're always looking at the next step in that growth. But we none of us ever stop growing. We grow and we grow. We're always for expansion and full expression of who we are. Most of us die before we even go to the grave. And
yes,
we do. And
life's for living, isn't it, Carole? It's for living. And most people don't live it to their fullest. And one of the things is whenever you open up this Pandora's box, it's illuminating. You can see the people who live their lives true because they are illuminated. They have this joy within them that they can access. And whenever life happens and pulls you down, they don't fall below the line, because they have got the resources and all of the tools in place that they're able to function and get through, and have faith that they will come through that darkness back into the light. And this is so important, because life will happen to us all. It's not a bed of roses. Everyone has a different path. Each of our children have different things they're going to experience in life, things that we've never experienced. So they will teach us through that. But and that's why it's just so important to embrace the teachings in this book. Like, this book is non-judgmental. It is from Carole's heart to say, just embrace my words and see what resonates, and apply it to your life, and have the courage to as well. Carole, one thing I want to talk about as well is mother self-care and keeping the cup full, because as a mum, we are busy bees, and if we have work as well, we're busy bees. So how do we prioritize? And it's important to prioritize some self-care. What is it that, it doesn't have to be conventional where you go to day spas or all of those things. It's where you find what it lights you up, going into those things, what makes you happy and what fills your cup, and making sure that you allow room for that, isn't it?
I think it's very, very important to have time for yourself. Very few of we mums spend time just for ourselves. And, we're so busy doing everything we think we should do for our children. But the most important thing is we look after ourselves, our own mental health, our own love ourselves. And I have a whole chapter there about the burnt chop syndrome, that I call it, and it's been called by other people too. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not teaching our children to take care of themselves. We're an example. They're watching us all the time, like you said, Karen. All the time they're watching us, and we're their idol. We're their idol. So we have to watch out that we actually take care of ourselves. Now, I do that in a couple of little ways that I've learned to do, and that is to write a gratitude every morning. I'll get my cup of coffee. The house is all silent, and I'll get up and I'll sit down, and I've got my little book that I bought, and I'll start writing gratitudes. And I have found that gratitude is one of the most liberating things you can do. And you say, what am I going to be grateful for? Well, let's start to be grateful, even 2 or 3 things. It'll expand and expand and expand, and you'll find you walk around with a smile on your face because you see things you've never seen before, and it's beautiful. But spending time with ourselves, and honestly, we don't really know who we are until we start doing this, and it's beautiful. And I've got some practices in my book for women to do that, and I think they're very, very powerful. Even just standing in front of a mirror and look into your eyes. I bet you haven't done that before, and it's just a beautiful experience. And it might feel uncomfortable, initially, but just keep it and talk to that inner child that's within you, who's been shut down for all these years, or may have been shut down for all these years. Speak to her. Speak to her of how much you love her and how safe she is. And it's beautiful. It's a whole new world. It really is a whole new world.
I have done this, Carole, and whenever I first did it, I was looking in the mirror. I just wanted to close my eyes. I didn't want to confront it, so it took me a few goes. But when I did embrace it, it was so empowering. It was like I really connected with myself. It was just, and whenever you share affirmations, it helps you believe in yourself again. It was really powerful for me. And one of the things that I do as a mum is I get up before my kids do. Every day, get ahead of the day and do my gratitudes, and I write. I'm a writer, so I like writing. At that time, it's the most beautiful and creative energy, and where you're connected to this infinite intelligence that can just feed you the most beautiful. It's just the wonderful time even to meditate, or just set your intentions for the day. Write your to-do list if that's what you want to do. Just in that energy, it's just the most beautiful thing ever. You have a poem in your book that I want to read for everyone. Is that okay, Carole?
Absolutely.
It's in the chapter called, let me just find, chapter 5, The Conscious and Subconscious Mind, okay? So this poem is called Little Eyes Upon You, and we don't know who the author is, but credit to them. There are little eyes upon you, and they are watching you night and day. There are little ears that quickly take in every word you say. There are little hands, all eager to do anything you do, and a little person who's dreaming of the day they'll just be like you. You're that little person's idol. You're the wisest of the wise. In their little mind about you, no suspicions ever arise. They believe in you devoutly and hold all that you say and do, and they will undo it your way when they grow up just like you. There's a wide-eyed little person who believes you're always right, and their eyes are always opened, and they're watching you day and night. You are setting the example every day in what you do for the little person who is waiting to grow up to be like you. I love that poem. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's so true. It is so, so true. We live in a marvelous world, and we can be so, so grateful for all that we have, in everything we've been given. And we have such an easy life in a lot of ways, but there could be nothing more important than bringing up another human being. And knowing what we know about the mind, we really need to understand how powerful we women are, how powerful to be entrusted to bring up this little child that will be an adult, that will be a leader of their world. It is so, so important that we do understand that, and we come to we come to take the responsibility of it, actually. And that's why I wear this. I love it.
Lovely.
It's from
Lovely.
Brave, and I just absolutely love it because we all are responsible. All of us, for our little ones. Our little ones depend on us, and they're watching us day and night.
Yeah, beautiful. Carole, what do you hope that readers take away from this book?
The understanding that we have a mind. I think that's one of the most important things, because if we don't understand we have a mind, we don't understand why we do things and why we don't do things. I just feel that the mind is the most important thing, and that we come to understand who we really are. We are a spiritual body. We are a physical body that has a soul inside of us.
Yeah.
Okay? And that we have a power inside of us. And I think we need to understand that. We need to work with it, work with this power, and we need to understand that we're in a changing world, and our teenagers are suffering because of this, and they need to come to know who they really are too. And that starts with our babies understanding who they are, how we teach them, how we interact with them, the environment they live in. Their environment is so important. And we need to realise we're responsible for what's going into the little minds of our little ones.
Yeah, beautiful. Guys, go and grab your copy. You'll see it popping up online everywhere. We have a beautiful page to share. And if you go to www.mmhpress.com, grab your copy today. We would love you to share your reviews with us. Also selfies. We love selfies. We love it when people take it with the book and send it to us, or even a selfie. If you find it in store, send it to us. So Where Is My Mummy? Being There When They Need You Most by Carole Goodman is out now. Congratulations, Carole. Such an important book. I will be sharing. I wrote a book myself that is on the topic of motherhood as well. So I think that our book babies can go out there and make big things happen in the world together. So congratulations, Carole.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me on. It's beautiful. Really
thank you for this awesome, insightful interview. I think that you're really going to enjoy watching it back. So thank you, Carole. Bye, everyone. Go and get your copy today.